Series on. Oh, here, I'll take it over here, Tommy. I don't drive you nuts. Series on. Oilers Kings. Tied at a deuce. Heading back to La La Land. Thank you very much for being here today, Tommy Gazzola. How was the post game last night, buddy?
Lots of fun.
Looked like a hoot.
It was a hoot. My dumbass brother behind me.
Yeah, so was that him sitting right behind you?
Oh yeah.
The one right over your your left shoulder?
Yeah.
I was wondering, like, who the hell is that guy? Why
My brother.
That was your brother? Oh
yeah.
I didn't realize it.
He had himself a lovely Sunday night.
Was he into it pretty good?
Yeah, he was.
Did you actually get him kicked out?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was just joking. I'm like, I'm going to get this jackass kicked out. It was Paul. He actually, like, interrupted me during the show. Like, he's tapping my shoulder. I'm like, get out of here. If it's Paul, so help me God, you're cruising for a bruising.
Little
mister.
brothers, eh?
Yeah, he knew too. And then so I give him the, like, get out of here, right? Like, give him the one, like stop, Paul. And then I look over 2 minutes later and he's hitting on the DJ. She's pretty cute. Like, she's a very pretty girl, and he's hitting on her. And I was like, you sly dog. I'm texting with him right now, but he had a good night, among many others who had a great night. Lots of fun. I'll tell you right now, Dusty, every single on location this postseason has been phenomenal.
Banger after banger after banger, yeah.
Great. Yeah.
And Game 5 is going to be a good one, too.
Hudson's White Avenue. Already talked to Connor over at Hudson's White, and he's super excited. 6 o'clock lager, they bring it in. So if you want to wet your whistle with a delicious beer, and it's on special, right? $12.99 for the playoffs again?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I was saying that yesterday because I'm pretty sure we discussed it. So it's a great beverage to have during the postseason, especially the weather we're going to get this week. You're right. Banger after banger after banger. Pleasant surprises. We've got meteorologists who are just gods in the city.
Well, we got to get to this. If you missed it, and you know what? We haven't had an oil stream since Friday's game, so we got to dive back to the challenge and everything as well. If you were watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. Maddie just came in here before we went on and said we are trending towards our highest thumbs up day in Edmonton Sports Talk history today. So be a part of that. Hammer the thumbs up for us. That would be great. We're going to try to hit like 200 on oil stream. I know the EST afternoon boys are going to go for a couple hundred. Reed and Jay are talking 300, 400, 500. So many words of the day if they hit numbers like that. But Josh Clouston, so did he just text you out of nowhere? Take me through this before we play this.
I don't know who. Was it the group chat that we got the text, or Hernan got a text?
It wasn't the group chat because I would have got that.
I just saw it. I'm checking my phone, and obviously, like, there's a million texts coming in. I'm trying to get ready for the pregame or postgame show. And then I just see Clouston wants to come on, or maybe it was a Wanik directly to Hernan and I. Clouston wants to come on, and he wants to, like, he has something special. And I'm like, okay, we're putting him on. Like, it's Josh. So I'm thinking he's going to rap. We couldn't connect. The phone wasn't working the first couple times.
I was sitting there watching. I was like, Hernan, you got to figure that. Hernan, what was going on with that phone?
Yeah.
You're sitting over there still. What ended up being? How'd you get fixed?
Phone.
You had to use your
This EST one doesn't work.
It didn't connect properly.
It wouldn't connect. It said it would, but it wouldn't connect. I connected on my phone. It was working right away.
Oh, weird.
It sounded so crisp.
Make sure to tell Maddie about that.
When we finally got him on.
I'm going to flag it.
Yeah, you should definitely flag it. Yeah, remember back
Flag
in the
it.
day? Flag it at the old building?
Yeah, make a ticket.
Yeah, we'll make a ticket for
it.
And this one, you just go to Matt's office and tell him, and then he fixes it.
Yeah, and you slide.
But I was like, oh, God, please work. And then it did.
So we get him on, and I could tell, like, he's not sharp as usual. And I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he was boozing a bit.
And I was like, Josh, did you have yourself a night? And he's like, I have some tequila. And I'm like, okay,
that's how it was.
Let's crank this up. I figured he had a rap, and he goes, I'm not rapping tonight. I'm not gonna. I was sing for you tonight. And I know I'm exaggerating a little bit, but
not.
And then he started singing, and I was watching Cass on the program, and I could just see Cass like giggling, and then Josh finished up, and we sang along at the end with him.
Yeah, it was great.
How could you not? And I could just see Cass palm both hands in his face, like, oh my God. And Cass was just loving it. So
that was good. I was like, Cass was just the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good. Anyway, here it is. So I grabbed that audio. Good job by you guys to not talk over them. And you turned down the sound of the bar.
Had to.
So like we got it clean, and then I took it and put some music under it today. I think we'll debate as we work our way through the oil stream today. Was this the turning point of the series, or was Hiller with just a bizarre challenge, the turning point of the series. But here's Josh Clouston after a couple of tequilas on Friday night.
I believe in these guys. I believe in McDavid and Dry. I'm a Nuge, Bouchard, and Kane. Gonna make a deep run again. I believe they can soar. Gonna bring the cup back to the north. I believe in these guys. I believe in these guys. Say it with me. I believe in these guys.
I absolutely love you guys. You guys, like he said, say it with me, but you all hopped in immediately. Like it wasn't like, oh my God, Klaus. Like as soon as he said hop in, it was just like, I believe everybody.
Yeah,
just
had to. I just. And then was it Bones that came up with Slosh Clouston?
Slosh
such
Clouston.
a good nickname. Yeah,
that is an all-time EST nickname.
Yeah,
Sloshed Clouston. This guy has worked for 30 bloody years, becoming the best weatherman I think like ever.
Yes.
And has like this great identity as Josh Clouston, and he will be known forever at EST as Sloshed Clouston.
Yep.
Which is just legendary.
I thought immediately after the show, SD worthy. Has to be.
Well,
SD
I mean,
worthy.
what about this? Before the Esties, we give him a couple shots of tequila and get him up on stage.
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic idea.
He performed last year with a song that'll probably be nominated for an Estie this year.
That has
All
to be.
gas, no
Has to be.
brakes.
Yep.
But I mean, this is right up there as well. This is right up there.
That to me, that was like one of the first playoff moments. You know how like on the ice things happen, but then there's those like moments off the ice.
That was it.
That was number one, and it's still like it's hilarious. And
I said this morning, like they need to put together a run here because this year's playoff song is a banger. We've already got this stuff from Clouston. We got the silly win ya. You should have seen the chat this morning.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Can I? Hey Trev, can I get a win ya? See, that's great.
Sure.
But we're the elements of a really successful playoff run off the ice are coming together nicely right now.
Yes, that I was thinking that too. Carmen in the Nasty chat says, "How drunk were you, Tommy?" Honestly, not. Like I was crushing.
Not at that point.
No, I was crushing a beer. Like post game, I'll have a beer. I will. It's fun. You get into it. Although Friday night after, like I couldn't get to the gear to break it down, like break down all of our setup. So I'm like, well, screw it. I'm going to have a bunch of drinks. I live like a block away.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah. So I crushed a bunch of drinks. Patty Ketty he's like, Tommy, let's go up to banquet. Frickin' Patty, man. Like 5 shots in like 5 minutes.
That sounds about right.
And then I went back downstairs and DVD showed up. And the Nasties were there. VR Montenegro, Cory B, a bunch of them. Sent them a round or two over. And then by the end of the night, I was like, ooh, feeling good. And then finally at 2:00, I was able to break down everything. So Carmen, not during the show.
Well, a little bit during the show.
I'll have a beer. Yeah. And, and then Tony will send over a shot if we're at BP Westgate.
Of course. Yeah.
Nowhere near Josh levels. That's
no. You're not sloshed Gazzola.
That. Yeah, no, we wait till the end.
Yeah, it would be Tom Gazzola.
Yeah,
guzzling, as in guzzling.
Yeah,
Tom Guzzling-ola. All right, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999, or hit us up over on the Nasty Chat on YouTube. We're 33 likes away from changing 100, and like we said, we are pacing towards our highest day of likes in the history of Edmonton Sports Talk. So please take part in that. You know what? Just sticking with Game 3 because we were discussing it with the Clouston song. The challenge, Tommy.
Yeah.
If the Oilers come back and win this series, and now they've evened it, when we look back on this series when it's over or a few years from now, where does that Game 3 challenge after the Kane goal fall in the turning point of this entire thing?
If Edmonton wins it, I think that's the fork in the road for the LA Kings. Because let's face it, LA was having a decent night in Game 3. And yes, the Oilers kind of took the momentum back in that game. I know it wasn't a goal that if you're a Kings fan, you're going, boy, I mean, that was a good hockey. That was a good goal. No, it was a nasty, gross goal where Kane shoveled it in, used his foot to kick it to the net. And Kemper saves it, and then he bangs it home. That challenge was the first, I think, crack that exposed itself in the LA Kings. Not just Jim Hiller, but in the LA Kings. Now, I know that the Oilers had the comeback in game one, but the fact that LA scored with the Deneau fluff shot goal right away, I think kind of nullified, like that was the epoxy to a
major
crack.
buzzkill.
Yeah. But I think where the first crack that stayed and is now widening was that challenge. And that was a huge momentum shift. Obviously, the Oilers capitalized shortly after that. And now all the issues that the Kings have in this series, shortening the bench, playing 4 D-men, Kemper not having a great series and being very
They're under the
pedestrian.
microscope now, right?
Now all of that is all those cracks are starting to expand and becoming, or could become, chasms.
When you were watching the Kane review for the kick, and as soon as you saw it, you're like, okay, he kicked it, but he got his stick on it 100%.
I thought, it was going to be kicked in goal.
Yeah, the momentum got, you could tell. He kicked it, it kind of hit Kemper, then came back and he, boom, finished it off.
Slammed it, yeah.
And you saw Kane right away be like, no, I got my stick on it, don't worry. But when you were watching that review take place, at any point do you think, the Kings should challenge this for goaltender interference?
I did, because I didn't have a good look at it.
Oh, okay.
I was just getting settled in at Ice House, and I saw the goal. I saw everybody. I was walking through the pedway to get back to Ice House. I saw everybody jumping around. I watched on the screen through the glass, and I was like, oh, I don't know. That's a scramble. That could be a little dicey. I got into Ice House, and I see the review. It's a good goal. And then I see the challenge, and I'm like, okay, let's take a look at it now. And then they showed it like 6 or 7 times.
Yeah.
And I'm watching, especially the overhead. I'm like, there's nothing there. What are we challenging? Why are we challenging?
Exactly.
And then after I had a couple good looks at it, I was like, this is going to stand. Like, this is stupid. What's he doing? And sure enough, they go and they score right away again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, that
all-time
is a
backfire,
huge
man.
turning point.
Like, I just don't understand why a team that, well, I guess because they're desperate. Like, why else would you challenge that? It's only a 4-4 game. Yeah. Like, have faith in your team and be like, okay, you know what, guys? They came back and tied in game 1. We went back and won it. Let's get going. To put your team in that spot for what would have been a questionable call if it's overturned. And I see Deathscrow over in the chat says he's seen worse called back. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I have. Where was the significant contact? Like, to me, the Fogle one that wasn't challenged last night would have more of a case for goaltender interference than anything we saw.
And
in
that
the
one
Kane
has like a 4%.
Yeah, this one.
Whoever wants to challenge that one, you're out of your mind.
It made no sense. And the fact that they had more time to look at it while the Kane thing was going, you have to be 100% sure.
Yeah.
And I could not see anything to do with that would make you 100% sure. So I'm very confident in saying that was one of the worst coaches' challenge I've ever seen when you look at what happened, the situation of the hockey game, the situation of the series. Jim Hiller blew it to the point where I'm sure Dennis Bernstein somewhere was snickering behind his back.
DB,
the rivalry we didn't know we needed in this series.
Well, listen, man, DB, we've had him on. We had him at the old station. We've had him since day one here. He's our Kings insider. He's a beauty. DB doesn't care, man. Like, DB has been around this league for a long time. He knows his reputation. He believes in his instincts, and he doesn't care if Jim Hiller doesn't like him or not. He's going to ask these questions, and that's all it was. Like, DB's not rattled by this. We're texting this morning when I was hopping on the Nasty chat this morning. DB was literally texting me. And we were going back and forth about it. So I sent in a quote from DB. Like, he doesn't give 2 iotas what Jim Hiller thinks. He'll go toe to toe with Hiller. He's got nothing to lose. So that's what makes Dennis Bernstein one of the best and such a great character in the game on the media side. And guess what? Dennis will ask the first question next game. He'll be right there. He commits to covering the team. He travels. He follows them around. And he's going to call it like he sees it. So That's why he's our boy. That's why we love him. He brings it. What was amazing to me last night was our viewers and listeners, our audience, being like, "Oh my God, did you see DB get into it with Hiller?" And they're defending him. They're defending DB. That's how lovable he is. You might not always agree.
Unlikable Hiller is too. I mean, nothing against DB, but you know what I mean. Like
Hiller's going out of his way to make himself a villain in this.
Hiller, I don't know if that's just how he is or if Hiller's starting to become unraveled. But Andrew, the accountant, is in and says LA is starting to show some cracks, and the Oilers look like they're improving, and the guys who are missing time are getting better and better.
Yes,
special teams are a big difference, and the Oilers actually killed penalties last night. The series is turning now. Just got to win one on the road. All right, let's take a full. So that was our thoughts on the challenge and the game on Friday, and then there's last night's game. They're down once again. Evan Bouchard and Darnell Nurse are a combined -3, and then the biggest enigma ever comes through with two more goals in the third period. He's got 4 goals and 7 points in 4 games. He trails only Bobby Orr in defenseman all-time playoff points per game, minimum 50 games played. And he also spent the first 40 minutes getting absolutely destroyed by fans on Twitter.
Because he was awful.
It's how do you explain this guy to people? Like if an alien landed on the planet today and said, "Tommy, tell me about Evan Bouchard," what would you say?
That's what you want to know about? Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Earth.
Well,
welcome to Earth.
Welcome, and punch me in the face.
Yeah, exactly. It's so frustrating at one end. Actually, that was it the Fiala goal where I'm just sitting there shaking my head. I'm like, how did that happen?
Yeah, the toe drag.
Oh my goodness.
And then the turn and not skate with him, but turn backwards.
Right.
And then
that's the one.
I don't understand. You can be such a genius, as described by Leon Draisaitl after the game.
Right.
Such a genius offensively.
Yeah.
And just
a bonehead in his own.
So it's kind of out to lunch on the other side of it.
It is frustrating. There are people saying, I wouldn't give this guy $5 million next year with the way he was playing. I actually thought he had a decent game 3, by the way. Even defensively, physically, he's starting to.
It was better than the first 2 games.
Absolutely. And then yesterday, for the first 2 periods, even though the Oilers were getting outshot 2-1 till the third period, I actually thought, I'm like, they're hanging around. They're in this. If it wasn't for a couple of dumb mistakes and turnovers, I mean, we're talking about a 0-0 game, 1-1, whatever. But they made some mistakes, and the Kings capitalized, and lo and behold, Evan Bouchard, Darnell Nurse get burnt. Nurse on the first one with the turnover. Nurse after the Brown turnover on the Fogle goal, he's circling the wrong way, not recognizing that his guy couldn't get the puck out, and then that Fiala goal. I thought that was just an abomination when it came to defensive play and execution. But then he goes and he totally redeems himself, scores a couple of goals, looks like a hero. It's incredibly frustrating, and there's no middle ground. That's the unfortunate part. Find that middle ground, Evan.
Yeah.
Find it.
Yeah, it's I don't know if I've ever seen anything like it. I saw people on Twitter. I don't know if it was it RCN? It might have been RCN. Maybe it was somebody else. I saw somebody on Twitter trying to look for like comparisons from other sports with Evan Bouchard.
Oh man!
And the one name that popped up was Russell Westbrook in the NBA.
Okay,
where like Westbrook is so insanely talented, he can average like a triple-double for a season.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll miss like open layups, and you're like, the season's on the line now, right? Like, I actually thought that was kind of a somewhat comparable, like a decent one. Because without Bouchard, they might already be done. But also, like somebody said, guys, Bouchard is the reason it's 2-2.
For both sides.
Yeah, it's he's something else, this guy. I'm starting to lose ways to describe him because he's so... Now, AB Poker Inc. text, and you can text us, of course, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. And if you're watching over on YouTube today, and there's a bunch of you there, we're trying to gun down 200 thumbs up today. We are almost halfway there at 93. So hammer the thumbs up for us if you're watching. If you have not yet subbed to the channel, please do. We've just surpassed 11.7 on our journey to 12K, which would be a huge number for us, which will be really nice. AB Poker Inc. texted, and the oil stream brought to you by our great partners at Boston Pizza. We had Boston Pizza over the weekend. And what did I went with that poutine again.
It is very good.
Friday night was movie night, and we had pizza in the morning, and then the kids had pizza for hot lunch, and we usually do pizza.
Yeah.
And I was just like, listen, let's not do pizza tonight. I'd like everybody to be bed, or at least get the Muzz to bed before the game starts, because she goes to bed around that time. Marsh can stay up, watch the game for a bit. But we ordered in Boston Pizza, and I got the poutine again.
It's
and
that
I can't get enough of this poutine. It's bloody delicious.
I feel so bad for eating all of it the first time.
Yeah, so I ate most of it, and then I left it, and Tam's like, can I finish that? I said, go ahead. And she's like, so she takes a couple bites. She goes, oh, wow, this gravy. I said, yes, this is what I'm talking about.
Yes.
So if you have not yet checked out the Boston Pizza playoff menu, I'm telling you, the entire thing slaps. It's absolutely delicious. They let their chefs cook, and they cooked.
Yes.
Simple as that.
Yeah, they did.
AB Poker Inc. texts in and says, guys, Bouchard, he's a forward playing defense. And what was I yelling at you there during the lock shop? How much did he play forward in junior?
Somebody told me that in junior he played a little bit in his rookie year of
up front on forward. Yeah, I remember that going into the draft process.
Yeah.
I remember I was at the draft. We were both at the draft when they drafted him.
The way he skates and moves,
he doesn't look like a forward
at all.
No.
He's very rigid and upright when he skates.
Yeah, he looks like a defenseman.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He has like the body of a defenseman, but he has the mindset in the offensive zone for sure of a forward. Like, I don't know. It's never going to happen, but I see why people would kind of look at it that way.
In the nasty chat, there's some good kind of descriptors. I'd like to a couple of them. Stephen Day says Bouch just needs to cut a couple of turnovers, be a bit more aggressive, like on the Byfield goal. Then he'll be worth the big contract, no doubt. C-Run says, quote, Dad, who is number 2 on the Oilers? Unquote, my son. There was a good one here. Big Uke says Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde look like a walk in the park compared to the D-Zone and O-Zone Bouchard. Mex Bazuzu says Bouchard is both an offensive defenseman and an offensive defenseman. Offensive used in different ways.
I love this one from Mex Bazuzu. I wouldn't be surprised if Men in Black has Bouchard on their watch list.
He's an alien. Double A says, I rag on Bouch a lot, but I still may buy his jersey.
Yeah, well. It's something else. Now the whole Bouchard contract conversation, we'll have a long time to discuss it in the offseason, okay?
Bet.
But I did, you watch what he does for you offensively. And as I was watching the game last night, and I've had this mindset, I guess, the entire time, really, but you're paying him. He's getting paid.
Yeah.
You can't let that guy go. And I just thought what you have to do is you just have to build a better blue line around him. That's what happens. He's your elite of elites when it comes to the offensive side of the puck. A healthy Ekholm can be that guy that can help him. And healthy Ekholm does not exist right now. I'm not sure how much. Have we seen peak Ekholm now? Probably. I mean, he's on the other 35. Side of his career.
Yeah.
But they need to just build a better defensive blue line around him and let him be who he is. That's how it ends up working.
You be you.
You
be you.
You need to have a better right side behind him. But moving forward.
And I understand that rationale, and I don't disagree with it at all. What gets me is Evan Bouchard has, in years prior, been somewhat reliable defensively.
He's been better than he has been now. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you're like, oh, there he is. Okay.
But I'm also not sure I was buying into him being that guy.
You wanted him to be that guy.
And he was for a little bit.
Why can't he find that level again? Or some semblance of it? And in game 3, I thought we saw hints of it. Game 4, nope, we did not. But then he goes and he scores a couple goals, and all of a sudden you're just like, well.
And not just a couple goals, huge goals for you.
Monster goals. Abutski. Really quickly. Paul Coffey was pretty polarizing for Oilers fans in the 80s. He was the first of their Hall of Famers to leave after 3 cups. I think he got into a spat with Glenn Sather. The Oil won 2 more without him, but were never as good.
RCN is in and says, guys, the thing that pisses people off about Bouchard is also what makes him so good. Ice in his veins, no panic. Looks like he doesn't care. nonchalant. Nothing bothers him. That's kind of what it is. It's just like you can't have that mindset at the defensive end of the ice. Like,
he gets very upset when he gets scored on, and he tries to scoop the puck out of the net really frivolously and fast, and he skates to the bench. It takes 3 hard strides faster to the bench after a goal against than he does during the play. It's funny, like that one goal that got scored against them earlier in the series, he like tried to pull the puck out of the net, and then he's like, what happened? What happened? And you're like, oh, Evan.
Like nobody saw it go in. Like,
you're a silly goose.
Careful. Not after 2 wins in a row, Tommy.
My goodness.
The Gourdfathers says 2-2 because of Bouchard on both sides is hilarious, scary, true, frustrating, and exhilarating all at the same time.
In a nice little package.
And Penner's Pancake says, I have to agree with you, Dusty. You either throw something at the TV, at Bouch, or kiss the screen. Building a more stabilizing defensive aspect of the decor will help him as well. I can't think of an NHL player that I've watched on a regular basis, whether it be growing up as a Habs fan or being in this market since 2009, where I'm like, oh, it's
either here.
This guy's either
over here.
This guy's either a future Hall of Famer or playing in the Spangler by the time he's 31. Like it blows my mind.
Yeah.
All right, 780-218-9999. Matt at the Garrison. I see Nick Kiprios is convinced 97 is moving on from Edmonton. You know what? He said on the show Friday, hard to watch. Don't worry. We won't talk about that because it's never going to happen. But we'll get some of the takes on it come the offseason. By the way, Matt, happy birthday. Your wife did text in this morning to say it's your birthday, buddy. So happy birthday.
Why is Kiprios? I'm not gonna.
It doesn't matter.
It's not.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Yeah. All right, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. And if you're watching over on YouTube today, what are we at here? We're 84 likes away from changing 200 on a day in which Awanek has told us we are trending towards our biggest day of likes in the history of EST. So hammer the thumbs up for us over there. Tommy, who's the MVP of this series so far for the Oilers?
Cory Perry.
It was the popular answer when we asked it this morning.
Yeah, Cory Perry has been very good.
I mean, based on expectations that you had from them coming in, the answer has to be Cory Perry.
Yeah.
McDavid and Draisaitl or McDavid and Draisaitl. Cory Perry has kind of dug them all into the fight.
No, both goalies are like shaky.
Am I wrong to say that I think McDavid and Draisaitl look at their best in the offensive zone when Cory Perry is with them?
Perry has created on his own. So I guess so, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think the best line so far in the series has been with Perry is with McDavid and Draisaitl. McDavid and Draisaitl have been with some other guys, but it's not as effective as when Cory Perry is with them.
To this point, that is a fair statement.
I'm not talking like for all of game 3, but in spurts, that's their best option.
Yeah, listen, I thought Hyman had some good moments. I think Kane in his couple games that he's played has had some really good moments. I'm encouraged by Trent Frederick, but if you're looking through the first 4 games, who's been the most consistent Oiler, giving you something positive? Cory Perry. Cory Perry has been that guy. That's awesome. I was shocked that they signed him. He had a 19-goal season. What do you have, 5 fights? He's scoring in the playoffs, clutch goals. I called it a street hockey style goal last night. That was just a cheeky, clever play by him yesterday on that goal in the power play. So Cory Perry would get my vote for MVP for the Oilers through 4 games. That's who I'm going with. Final answer. Thank you.
All right, we'll get to a few more of your text messages. We'll keep those coming in. This one... good text messages continue to fly in here. Some on Bouchard's contract. This one, Bouch is like Justin Schultz on steroids.
Poor Schultz.
Yeah, that's
great guy.
The runner texts in today and says Bouchard's contract conditions are going to have zone conditions. If the puck is in the D zone, you prorate it at $6 million a year. Once it crosses the red line, prorate it at $12 million a year, and then you break it down on time on ice spent on where he's at. That's pretty funny. That's
clever.
Actually.
That's clever.
All right, Tommy, who has impressed you more returning from injury, Evander Kane or John Klingberg?
Seriously, John Klingberg.
I think it is because and nothing against Kane. He's been much better than I thought he would be. But
zero expectation from Klingberg. When they threw him back in, I'm like, this guy is going to get walked, turned into a turnstile. He's going to get pushed around, and that has not happened. Now, he hasn't been like immaculate or anything like that, but he's been really good. There were a few times him and Wallman were out there, especially in overtime, where I thought to myself, this is it. This is where they get burned. And they didn't.
They didn't really get in too much trouble.
Very steady. Wallman had a couple of good timely pinches that were somewhat
A couple
risky.
of those pinches, I was like, oh no, but he got there. Yeah. That's what it was. Like overtime last night was the Kings not pressing, just waiting for the Oilers to have a puck bounce over Wallman, stick at the blue line or something and get in on a 2-on-1. Like they were fully just, we're just going to wait. And when the turnover happens, we're going to take advantage of it. Is that not what you felt from the Kings last night? Like there was no push in overtime from them.
No, it was going to be a crappy one goes in on the Oilers. They make a mistake. They give the Kings a gift, and somehow they capitalize. That was what I was thinking, because I'm watching the Oilers in the offensive zone, owning possession, winning every battle, winning every race.
Should have finished it 3 or 4 times.
Absolutely, and it just stayed out. They couldn't get that goal, and I'm like, if LA even gets a sniff, it's going to be a stinker. It's going to be a buzzkill, and it's going to be just a heartbreaker. And fortunately, that did not happen. Pickard held the fort when he needed to. Whatever rubber he saw in OT, they managed to mitigate the chaos in their own zone. And then eventually, the Kings were bending, and they broke. And you get that goal. And you know what I liked about the Oilers yesterday? They weren't all pretty goals. The one Bouchard goal was a lucky bounce.
Yeah,
you'll take that. That stuff usually gets evened out, and
just get pucks in the middle of the ice and get them on net, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the Oilers in the last couple of games, actually, when they score against the Kings, there's been 1 million goals in this series. What are we at? 37 now through 4 games.
Yeah, you don't want to hammer the over in this one.
A lot of ugly, greasy goals from like 5 to 10 feet out. Even some within like 2 feet of the net and the goal line. I love that. That's playoff hockey. Those are the types of goals you got to score. And they're getting them. And if I'm LA and their fans, I'm looking at Darcy Kemper going, what the hell happened to you, man? What happened to you? You're not a Vezina caliber goaltender right now.
Yeah, none of the guys nominated for the Vezina caliber goalie.
And that's amazing.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
In fact, I think Kemper has the best save percentage of them in the playoffs.
What
so
is
far.
He at 8?
He's at 890.
Yeah.
Or 8.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's not. I wrote it down. Here it is, actually. Vasilevsky's at 890. Kemper's at 881. And Hellebuck's at 817.
Hellebuck.
So that's a little concerning for Jets fans, as we saw with Huss on the Lock Shop today. The big thing with Klingberg, I think, is that it stops the Oilers from having to do what the Kings are doing. The Kings are essentially playing 4 defensemen, and that's it.
Yeah.
Was it 31-40, I think, was the least of their top 4 last night.
Yep.
Whereas the Oilers, Bouch played 35 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But the next 4 guys in the Oilers were in that 24 to 27 range, and Connor McDavid talked about it after the game last night, that, they're running short on those guys, and they keep trying to wear them down.
They're playing 13 skaters.
Yeah. Yeah, that is what they're trying to do.
13
You're right.
skaters.
Yeah, it's a men's league skate.
Yeah. I think that's a big concern. You're playing, they dressed Jacob Moverare yesterday. What did he play, like 2 minutes?
Yeah. And Malott and Hellenius both played like less than 4.
Yeah. I know they gave Lewis, I think he ended up 5 or 6. I have it right.
Yeah,
here,
it might have been a little bit higher, but
Lewis played 519.
Okay.
Hellenius 144. Malott ends up the night with 227. Brant Clark 1158 and Moverare 226. Like, you're playing with 13.
Yeah, they're running
skaters.
13 guys.
How do you expect to win?
Well, I'm wondering if they do because of that. Like if the Kings end up blowing this thing and not winning, we would point back to the fact that they only played 13 guys essentially the entire series, 13 and a half.
Yeah.
Clark's playing like half minutes.
Sure. That's why going into the series, remember we were doing like the breakdown, which team has the advantage of forward, defense, special teams, all that stuff. There were a bunch of people texting in saying the Kings are a deeper team. And I go, on what planet do you think that is actually true? Now, don't get me wrong. The Oilers aren't rolling 4 lines consistency, but you can rely on your veteran guys to go out there and give you a shift. Janmark 11-19. Henrik played over 20. Frederick even gave you 12.52. Connor Brown 18.04. Arvidsson 12.07. Podkolzin 9.34. And guess what? I thought Podkolzin was generally effective positively when he was out there yesterday.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
He busts his ass. He finishes checks. He beats the puck into a brick, basically.
All right, let's get into your Popeyes headlines. If you've not yet checked out Popeyes, you probably should. One of our fine folks here had not tried Popeyes until he started working here.
And now
he spent probably somewhere between 25 and 28% of his salary on Popeyes. So it's pretty delicious. You're going to like it. Mm-hmm. And the Popeyes classic chicken sandwich would be the Dusty recommendation. CB Radio guy texted and says, just joining, guys. Who gets to start in LA? So this is where I want to go. This is where I want to go with Popeyes headlines. Because you guys were talking about this. Is this when you and Maddie got a little spicy today?
We got a bit spicy, yeah.
I felt bad for Jasmine, just sort of sitting there being like, oh, man, these guys are going to come to blows.
No.
My question is, well, we know who starts in LA. It's Pickard.
Yeah.
My question is it his net for the rest of the series?
If he gets if he loses next game and there's bad goals, I think they go back to
if he plays horribly.
Yeah. But if it's close and he gives you a few decent saves at good moments, then he gets to start in game 6. But I don't.
I think he would have to be an absolute train wreck, cost them the game type of thing.
And it could happen. There have been times where he would get a few starts, and there were even times where he'd get back-to-back starts earlier in the year, and he would be bad on the second one. The team would be dog crap in front of him, too. I think back to that Anaheim start where they got shelled 6-2 at home. He got that start as well and wasn't great. That's why I think if Edmonton continues on in the postseason, we will see Skinner again.
Yeah, if they continue on in the postseason, I'm sure we'll see Skinner again.
Skinner has to be better, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Team has been better too. I don't agree with them playing different in front of Pickard compared to Skinner. Somebody texted that into the...
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
I've never really dove into... there's got to be numbers on that.
I'm sure there's some kind of... I don't believe it. I think that's a myth. That just to me, that's my opinion. And opinions are like, you know what? Everybody's got one.
Bums.
That's right.
Yeah. I think I'd just go Pickard the rest of the way in this series.
If he gets shelled tomorrow,
yeah.
I think you put Skinbrack in.
Okay, but what if they lose tomorrow 4-3 and he lets in 2 bad goals?
Then you consider Skinner.
I don't think I would. Because then you're going back to Skinner, who's only. I think in a must-win game, in Game 6, I'd go with the guy who's actually won games for you. It'd be tough.
Skinner has.
Can you imagine
how
the
clutch was Skinner in the playoffs last year in deciding games?
Yeah, he was
and coming back from.
But Skinner's not what Skinner was last
benched.
year, even in the regular season. Right? Like Skinner's not that guy.
He hasn't been. It's been a spotty year for him. 100%.
I think if they lose, and it's like 1 or 2 bad goals on Pickard, I think I would stick with Pickard. I just have a hard time justifying going back to Skinner if you lose game 6. You're like Skinner's 0-3 in the series. Pickard's 2-1.
Pickard has not let in. He's let in some bad goals too. Like that Fiala goal goes right through him. He gets a piece of it. Now the fact that there was a breakaway there is ridiculous.
Yeah.
The shot by Moore. Credit to him for going low blocker
along the ice there.
That wasn't a great goal. I thought the Fogle goal was not a great goal. He's been timely and generally reliable, but I don't think he's been a savior.
Yeah, I wouldn't say savior, but I think if you're to have the conversation with most people, if for this year's team, you had to put one of these 2 guys in a do or die game, I think most people say Pickard.
I agree with that. Most would say Pickard.
I think I would say Pickard.
I don't know if that's the right choice, though.
Would you say Skinner?
I don't know. I don't have a ton of confidence in Stu Skinner right now.
I think I'd lean Pickard.
because he's scrappy. His mindset, his
he's
attitude.
had better numbers all year than Skinner too.
Yeah.
Like he's just statistically been the better goaltender.
Like, did Kempe have a clean look at Pickard last night at all?
No, they did a much better job against that line for sure. That line came with another.
Because those guys were sniping on Calvin. Sniping. They have a book on him. They just weren't able to yesterday. But with Skinner, it's a wild card. Anything could go in right now, which is not the way it should be.
780-218-9999. RJ says Skinner definitely can't start in LA. That crowd will absolutely eat him alive.
I thought we were mad that he smiled when he got booed or jeered.
I didn't think that was a I thought it was a non-factor, really, to be honest with me. Peter texted and says, did anyone notice when Leon scored, McDavid went straight to Pickard? It's that subtle, he's our guy. Or is that a subtle, he's our guy? Or am I reading too much into that?
Reading too much into it. In my opinion.
I don't think it was. Let me see. How will I say this? Because I don't want to necessarily read too much into it. But I don't think it's like, I don't think McDavid did it on purpose to be like, this is our guy. But I think his natural instinct was to go to a guy that he obviously thought was a significant piece of their victory.
Well, a couple of the guys,
there, right?
Like, it wasn't just McDavid that went over to
no,
Pickard
but
right away.
It's not very often you see like the team's best offensive player bail on just the second time they've won a home overtime game and his best buddy scores the winner and he immediately heads down to the backup goalie. That's kind of a unique situation. So I think just maybe naturally, like the first person he wanted to thank for the dub was his goalie in that situation. What do you think? 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. The goaltending conversation, your Popeyes spicy headlines. And we'll see where it goes from here. Tommy, who's the favorite in this series right now?
Edmonton.
You think so? Yes. That was a quick answer. It's a betting pick'em. So it's a coin flip as far as odds makers go. And I think I would you answer pretty quickly, so you're very confident in your. Yeah,
the Kings are showing cracks, but I'm not going, oh, Edmonton's definitely winning tomorrow.
Yeah.
LA could rise up and rally and have a good game.
Oh, they're going home. But best in the biz in that spot.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Kings now. I'm like, well, there's a lot of negativity around them. And rightly so. Look no further than the coach who's supposed to set the tone. He's losing his mind on a 65-year-old old guy from New York.
It's not a great look.
No.
Reed does not like Jim Miller either.
Reed popped off on him the last couple of post-game shows.
Yeah, he does come across with an arrogance that is kind of unjustified. Like, it rub you the wrong way anytime, but it's kind of unjustified right now. We are 47 likes away from changing 200 on the oil stream today. And that would be big for us as we continue to try to push towards, and we're on pace for our all-time high in YouTube likes today for Edmonton Sports Talk. Not just the show, but for Edmonton Sports Talk in general. So if you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, first of all, tell your friends about us, how easy it is to consume what we're doing. And second of all, slide on over to YouTube and hammer that thumbs up for us. EST Afternoons is going to try to take a run at 200, and Reed and Jay are going to try to set their new show record later on today as well. This text says, I like Pickard's athleticism. Play him in LA for sure. If the Oilers can steal the game in LA, roll with Pickard at home. If he plays well and they lose, play Pickard at home. If Pickard stinks, then just go to Skinner at home. That's my 2 cents. That's basically what you're saying, right?
Exactly.
Haji says it definitely meant something about McDavid going down to Pickard. Troll says, good point, Dusty. McDavid going to Pickard instead of Draisaitl means they hate each other and Connor's leaving confirmed. Joking, of course.
Nailed it.
That's I swear to God, that's not what I meant to do there.
Not in the Edmonton fan base's MO to read way too much into every minute detail ever. And I say that completely facetiously.
Tommy, when Nick Kypreos saw that last night, his interpretation was 97 screaming, "I'm leaving this summer.
Screw this place."
I have to tell you guys, I'm not sure why anybody in Edmonton would care what Nick Kypreos thinks about the Connor McDavid situation.
But I wouldn't care for that opinion either. I don't know why.
I don't get rattled by that stuff.
No,
don't get rattled by that stuff. It doesn't. To me, it's
a bit silly.
Yeah, it's just it's an opinion from somebody outside of the market. I don't think you need to worry about opinions from people outside of the market, especially about something that's down the road and kind of like a fairy tale for the other 31 teams in the National Hockey League. All right, let's keep the text messages rolling in. We will get to a few of those as we work our way through the show the rest of the way. One more time, Tommy will be at the Hudson's on White, home of the Estes after party last year.
Oh, they would like us to do that again.
Which was
next
a good
year.
time. Yeah, it was a good time. It's convenient. It's close. Good party
we had a
spot.
great time.
We basically had that entire place to ourselves that night.
Yep, very happy about
that was pretty good. Timber Wisdom saying, you guys, Hiller's rattled big time. Tommy, let me ask you this. You've covered this league for a long time. How much does it matter if a coach is rattled or not?
I think it does matter.
Yeah.
Because
we talk a lot about Knobloch being basically like an emotionless robot up
he's like
there.
a robot, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe we should praise him more for that than opposed to a guy who seems to be coming unrattled on the others. Like, you have to take the good with the bad on that stuff.
The coach sets the tone. Unless the team hates the coach and just kind of closes him off, like kind of what the Kings did to Daryl Sutter, right? Where they like literally locked him out, had a team meeting without him, and that can happen. But if the team likes the coach and your coach is losing his mind on media people and is in game making bad split-second decisions, like calling for a challenge when it's probably not going to go your way and only rolling 3 lines in 4D, that sense of worry or that tone and attitude from your head coach through osmosis affects your players. If you got a guy like Knobloch who seems like immune to emotion and keeps focus on the task at hand, maybe that allows the Oilers players to be like, okay, well, he's not losing his mind. He's going to steer the ship generally in the right direction. We have faith in him. Let's go out there and let's do our jobs. I think the coach with the tone setting is reflected in the players. And right now, Hiller's setting a bad tone for his group.
Norman at Combine texted.
Outside of game.
Norman at Combine texted and says, the 4 regulars on the Tuesday at Hudson's did not like us invading their spot. It was awesome. On the Tuesday night after, that was tough because it's a Tuesday night in September, and we roll in with like 100 people to Hudson's on White.
Yeah, well, the owners and management of Hudson's loved it. So those 4 regulars,
those four regulars sitting there at the Wood, being like, "What the hell is going on right now?"
Do it all over again.
Jeff Carew over in the chat says, sorry, boys, I don't know if I missed it or not, but why didn't Knobber challenge the Fogel goal?
Because it wouldn't have been overturned.
Friedman made an interesting case for it.
I am
usually,
surprised
like, Elliott's really, Elliott usually has a pretty good read on that stuff.
I would think so. But, like, somebody texted into the hangout, like, the rule in the rule book, and it's like any contact, blah, 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 should be a disallowed goal unless a player is being challenged by an opposition player, and then that forces the contact. But let's not kid ourselves, guys. They don't call it like that. And again, from thinking back to watching it, we watched it over and over again last night. Like, Pickard played it poorly. He was aggressive. He went out there and he had his pad hanging out there, and Fogel just took it and put it in the empty net as he was moving forward. Like, Pickard's going one way, challenges and like loses the crease, and Fogel just takes and scoops it home.
I mean, Fogel did push his pad though to slide him.
Okay.
Like, that's why what Elliott was saying, watching last night, Elliott was saying that if there's contact with the goalie's pad as you're swinging at the puck, this is what Elliott was told by league officials, obviously, somebody. If you're swinging at the puck and you make contact with the pad, then that's allowed because you're trying to swing at the puck. But this wasn't a swing at the puck. This was Foegele had the puck, then didn't have the puck on his stick, used his stick to push Pickard's pad, and then grab the puck and put it into the net.
How about the Michkov goal early in the season that everyone
that was completely different. Yeah, in that he was swinging at the puck trying to jam it home, whereas Foegele, the puck was not on Pickard's pad. The puck was sitting there.
Yeah.
Foegele pushed. That's why I thought, in the end, I'm glad they didn't challenge it, and who knows what would have happened.
It would have counted.
But
I'm telling you.
I think that play should be goaltender interference.
I can't believe we're talking about this so much after they won. This argument reminds me of that stupid offside, non-offside Cale Makar goal against the Avalanche a couple of years ago, where people were like, oh, well, technically it's a dump in when it came off his stick. For a millisecond, Bruce McCurdy, bless his soul.
Rest in peace, Bruce.
Yes. He had a great line. We had him on like the day after on 1260, and he goes, what? So every time Connor McDavid has the puck and possession, he's skating with it, it's 1,000 micro touches. And then every time he like lifts his stick to dangle the puck, that's technically a dump in. I feel like we're having the same type of argument right now over that goal that Foegele scored last night. Like we're trying to I thought
it was pretty clear.
Overcook this thing.
He speared with his. Well, that's what happened, Tommy. I mean, you're pretending that not what I'm
going to go watch it again.
Go watch it again.
It's ridiculous. I think the argument people are making is ridiculous.
Just tell me Foegele doesn't use just his stick when the puck is not on Pickard's pad to push his leg. Like to me, that type of thing should be the Michkov one. Puck's at the side, and then he's jamming, which is what Elliott kind of said last night. Like if you're jamming or swiping at the puck and it's hitting a pad, that's one thing. As Elliott said, that was not the situation.
It's in slow motion.
Yeah.
So Foegele shoving his stick into Pickard's pad makes Pickard's leg kick out to the back in the side. Come on, you guys.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
No, it did.
No.
Because he's down.
Ridiculous.
He's down like this. Right? He's down like this. He's already like down.
No.
I'm not saying he played it well, but I'm saying that his left leg was pushed out of the way by the stick of Foegele intentionally.
No. I'm sorry, guys.
Are you watching the right play right now?
I'm literally watching it over and over again. I think that is a loser argument that won't win. And that goal would have stood if you challenged it. I can't believe we're even arguing about this right now. You know they won last night, right? They overcame this. I thought it was a good non-challenge.
It ended up being a good non-challenge, and they might not have won it, but I'm telling you.
This is a ridiculous argument.
Roll it back.
Yeah,
Let's
look.
see it again. Okay, right?
No.
See, there's the puck.
It's loose.
Yeah, but and Fogel's bringing his stick back after pushing Pickard's leg out of the way.
Oh, my God.
But that's what happened. I'm just describing what we're seeing. There's the puck. Now he pushes through. Pushes the. But Tommy, that's what's happening right there. What are you watching?
Pickard's sliding the wrong way. Guys, ridiculous. Ridiculous argument, in my opinion.
I mean.
Thank you, Hernan.
Yeah, but he's not. He's like watching the video, not describing it.
Going to the backhand. Follow. Yesterday, guys are speared.
He's not
He
spearing.
pushed his pad.
No.
He's going that way, then the rebound comes out and he hits it.
Pickard.
Okay, there's this. So there. Look at this freeze frame here.
Oh my God! I can't believe we're arguing this. He tries to tuck it in. Pickard's sliding the wrong way. His momentum's taking him to the right. Fogel's going to Pickard's left.
Okay, but
puck's loose.
When the puck enters the crease, Pickard's pad is right in front of it.
No, guys.
And I don't know.
Guys,
I agree to disagree.
Guys.
I agree to disagree on this one.
Anyway, it's a good goal. They won. They overcame it.
They did win.
Good non-challenge. Chris Knobloch 1. Jim Hiller 0. You can even give him
officials minus 10.
Well, the officials suck.
I mean, the non-trip on McDavid in the first period is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in my life.
How many face-offs did a guy get thrown out? How many
All of them.
minutes were added to the length of the game, that the time it took to play the game, waiting for these idiots to drop the puck? Because
It's ridiculous. You're killing the game.
Stupid. Yes.
All right, we're 22 likes away from changing 200, so hammer that for us. We got EST afternoons coming up right away, so turn on autoplay. That'll take you right on over. The conversation will continue. Hernan Salas and Joaquin Gage coming up. The Reed Wilkins Show from 3 until 6 as well. But good show today. And as always, the oil stream is brought to you by Boston Pizza. Hammer that thumbs up for us. We're trying to take a run at our all-time high. So if you are watching on YouTube, give us a like before you slide on over to EST Afternoons. For Tommy Gazzola, I am Dustin Nielson. Be back tomorrow morning setting up Game 5. Should be a beauty. We'll talk to you then. Take it easy.